Hi, my name is Juan Martinez, and this is my API project for CSE 341, Project 2, Part 1. I built a Bookstore API using Node.js Express, MongoDB with Mongoose, and Swagger for documentation. The API is deployed on render, and I'll show you my endpoints, data validation, error handling, and live deployment. First, here's my Swagger UI running on my deploy API in render. You can see the books and authors endpoints documented here. I'll use Swagger to test the API so you can see the HTTP status codes and responses. I'll start by getting a request for all books. As you can see, it shows all my records. Now I'll do the same thing for my authors. Okay, my authors, and I receive a code 200. Now I'll demonstrate a post to add a new author. I send the JSON body with the required name and optional fields like bio, website, and country. The response is 201. So the new author is created, and it's including the ID, the new ID. So I copy the author's ID, and I'm going to use it to create a new book. So I got a response code of 201, and we got a new book. The new book now is on the database. You can see the new record there. Next, I'll show a put request updating that same book, the one I just created. I'm going to update the title. And the price, I'm going to increase it to $2. So I'm going to execute it. And I receive a code 200, and the title has been updated, and also the price. Now I'll send a delete request for that same book. The new one, just add. So I receive a code 200 with the message book deleted. So now if I go and try to get the same book by ID, I receive it code 404, book not found. So now it's out of the database, it's gone. My post and put routes include data validation using Mongoose. Here, I'm intentionally gonna send a book with some of the missing required fields like title, author, price, and published year. Going to remove this. I'm going to try this to update this book, and I receive a code 400 error response and the message saying title, author ID, price, and published year are required for put. So if I don't have the right data, it won't accept my put. Behind the scenes, each route in my API is grabbed in a try-catch block. You can see here. When something goes wrong, like a missing record or database error, I call the next error and pass error to my global error handler. Here's the code. You can see the try-catch. And the road. Here is my error handler middleware, which sets the appropriate status code 400, 404, or 500 and returns a JSON error response with a message. To demonstrate this in action, I will request a book by ID for an ID that doesn't exist. And here I receive a error 400, 500. I change this. I received a 404 error for that book not found. Finally, this API is fully deployed on render. Here you can see my render service with a live URL. When I open that URL in the browser, I go to the API docs, and you can see the same Swagger UI I've been using through this demo. All the get, post, put, and delete requests I just showed are running against this public link, not localhost. My MongoDB connection string is stored as environment variables in render, which keeps sensitive configuration out of the public code. And also, I'm using a git ignore to get my .env in my Node modules. To summarize, this project exposes a documented API with Slugger, supports full CRUD operations on 2 MongoDB collections, validates data on post and put, handles errors with appropriate HTTP status codes, and is deployed live on render with secure configuration. Thanks for watching my presentation.